Hello, and welcome to the 2023 Festival of the Arts at Epcot. You can see the Epcot ball behind me, there it is. And the festival actually started yesterday on Friday. It is now Saturday, and there's going to be two parts to this because we're here this weekend when it first started, and we're going to be back in 3 weeks to do more of it. So we're not going to do all of the booths in this video, but we will do more next time, as well as what you see this time. So it'll be part one and part two, but this is part one. I'll show you some of the different booths, some of the merchandise, some of the decorations, and some of the artwork that's available. So come and join me on our journey through the Festival of the Arts 2023 in Epcot. Over by the Creation Shop, the big store, they have some art booths up. Just give you a taste of what you can see here. I bet that's something that someone's working on. Not every art piece is going to be Disney themed, although I think that's the majority of what you're going to see because, you know, where we are. Wow, Peach and Dr. Facilier. That's nice, that Maleficent. And Ratigan, yeah, you don't see him too often. And of course, Sorcerer Mickey, that's one of my favorites. I love this because you've got, hey, call Jesse at 867-5309. I don't think that one's a Disney one. I think it's just generic.
Did you catch the one down there?
The Rescue Rangers one? No, I didn't. I'm glad you pointed it out. I love Rescue Rangers. Here's an example of not everything being Disney, although some of this I really like. Like, I love that scene right there. That is beautiful. I love the texture of the trees. Wow. The elephants. Yeah, isn't that nice, Josh? I like that. The mood of that. I like that tiger too. And this is pretty. This is like overlooking the area that's where the beach club and the yacht club and boardwalk are. Yeah, it's actually looking out a window at it. Yeah, and there's even the little Mickey transportation that you can take around the friendship boats. Yeah, so this is a pretty good mix. Pinocchio. And Cinderella. That Pooh one is very cute. These statues are real nice. Not Pooh and Piglet. I love Pooh and Piglet. Piglet's my favorite of the Pooh characters. And lots of Beauty and the Beast. And Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Here's some of the merchandise that's available, just like Disney branded merchandise. They have pins. These ones are for pass holders. We're thinking about getting that because we usually get pins to commemorate events. There's this really cool, which is what's on that pin.
This is actually it's one of the little munchlings that they've been doing. It's
How much are those?
This is...
Oh, remember, they do shrink.
Oh.
This is 20. I don't see
The pin is 20. The t-shirt, this looks like a kid size, or maybe it's just a small. It's just a small, but it's 35.
There's across the way.
Yeah.
Across the way there are the Spirit jerseys, which have Festival of the Arts and a little figment down there. And if you flip it around, then it says create your own magic. And there's another figment down there. That's pretty good. And these are $80. Here's other kinds of pins. That one actually has a slate board that you can write on it with a piece of chalk or something. And then there's another one. So there are different kinds of pins that you can get if you want. And there is a Magic Band. Looks like it's just a regular Magic Band, not Magic Band Plus.
Right, but it is a limited release, 2023, specific to the festival.
Yep.
The festival.
Let's see. There's more over here. That's that same shirt. There's bigger ones of the Munchlings. There's a International Festival of the Arts.
These are
23.
really
How much
nice.
is that one?
$44. These are
$44.
These are heavy duty metal.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like serious ones.
And then mugs. There's always mugs.
There's always mugs.
If I have a motto, there's always mugs. And
again, add chalk art.
oh,
here.
that's cool. You can add
Just
chalk.
draw.
How much is that? Mugs are usually
25.
20 to 25 is what mugs usually are. trying to see if there's more. It's a lot of the same kind of stuff.
And then there's...
They do have like a Figment over here. I'm not sure if that's specifically Festival of the Arts, but it is Figment in Epcot. And Epcot 40th.
I think that he's Epcot 40th for that.
Yep. But that's, again, not for this festival. It just happens to be the 40 years of Epcot. There's the back of that shirt. Josh and I were just discussing how much we like the theming, how it's all art stuff, right? Like you've got different kinds of paints, like when you're doing like painting paint and you're doing like wall painting paint. And you have your Figment on there on the rainbow. The Festival of the Arts has always used somewhat of a rainbow because of all the different colors that you use, but this is pretty nice actually. Yeah. And there's the paint by number mural, which is over there. We're gonna go do that. I'm not sure where you go to get your paints to do it, but it's essentially, it's a crowdsourced mural where you get a paint and a brush and then color, and you go paint in 6 squares. So let's go do that. We're walking past it to get to the entrance. Either that or we're walking, actually I think we're walking the other way, but here are a bunch of people doing the mural. And it's sort of a pop art version of Figment. There's just a bunch of different versions and colors, very Andy Warhol. We need to figure out where the entrance is. Something else they have during the festival, and Josh and I have pictures of us behind these things, but we're still going to take more, is a living art piece of that woman kissing the other guy. Sort of an art piece, and then you can go in there and make faces and sit next to it and pretend you're in the art piece. That one is Renoir. That was Renoir. And then this is Van Gogh over here, or Van Gogh. I think it's Van Gogh, and we've also been saying it wrong forever. Yeah, Van Gogh if you're European, Van Gogh if you're not. And Josh is gonna get in there. Let's get a picture of him. Something else they do is chalk art. I love chalk art because it's purposely temporary, right? Like it's something that's beautiful. You get to see it if you happen to be here at the right time, but otherwise the rain is just gonna wash it away. So it's not permanent art. It's something that you can only experience if you're here when it's created, and maybe a little bit afterwards, and that's it. So there's this one, which is an awesome mini. It's a horse one over here, and you can see a couple of artists working over there on their chalk art. We'll come revisit this later to see what progress they're making. And to announce the chalk art, it's actually done in slate, so people have drawn in chalk on it, which is really cool. And then there's names down here too, probably be different artists. This is a really great idea.
Yeah. Because it can change all the time.
Yeah, every day they could change this if they wanted to.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
We may not be by here to see any of this, but if we happen to be in the sort of entrance to World Showcase later, I'll see if I can get some. But there is a schedule here for people coming and doing like art performances. Now some of that can be music, like musical art. Art defying gravity, I'm not sure what that is. I bet that sounds interesting though. And then you have like a performance artist who will like create a piece of art while you're watching them. I saw a video of somebody yesterday where, you know, they were playing music and they were painting at the same time, and then at the end of it, it ended up being Donald Duck, which is a really nice, quickly painted but still very well done piece that they ended up selling at their booth. Something else you can do during the festival is you can purchase for $10 plus tax this that looks like what is the artist board called? An artist palette. And you go and find Figment in these pictures around the World Showcase, and then you paste the picture, or it's like a sticker, and then you paste it where you found it, like which country you found it in, and then you come back here and you get a prize. Let's go see if we can find out what the prize is. I could be wrong about this, but I think those are the prizes there. It's a paint your own. It's a figure you can choose, and then you can paint it yourself. And it looks like there's a Goofy, and a Mickey, and a Minnie, and a Figment. That's not bad. In the Mexican pavilion, there's the El Artista Hambriento. Missed the R in there. They have a carne asada for $10, which we hear is pretty good. And they have a flan, which is pretty cool. There's some pictures of them too. And then they have some drinks down there as well. What's their margarita? They always have a margarita. Marshmallow. Yeah. Interesting. They're not quite open yet. Oh, actually, they just opened. We opted not to get anything for the Mexican booth just because we would have gotten the carne asada, but it's kind of expensive, and honestly, where we live in Denver, carne asada is not that hard to come across. And I'm sure the one here is very delicious, but I don't know if it would be $10 delicious. We're gonna save up and look for stuff that's more unusual for us to find. We're gonna head into the inspiration station because they have a couple of things in there. One is this grape smoothie with freeze-dried Skittles, which people yesterday were saying the Skittles were actually pretty amazing, the freeze-dried ones. They also have a rainbow cake with freeze-dried Skittles. The thing about the rainbow cake is it's just your typical like vanilla cake with buttercream frosting. At least that's how people described it, which you can kind of get anywhere. Although I hear it's pretty good, but you know, you can get cake anywhere. This thing sounds interesting, and it comes with a plastic cup that you get to keep where Figment is just sort of drawn in, and the color of him comes from the grape freeze. I might get that. Let's go take a look. They also have a fruit pizza with just fruit on a watermelon, like a pizza slice. But we're getting the grape smoothie, which is in the little smoothie machines over there. And Josh is gonna get a cider flight. See what we think of that. Josh and I have a couple of popcorn buckets just because we bought them while we were here and wanted popcorn. So we're not really collectors, but the one going right now is the Figment one. And I mean, it's pretty cool. I have no real connection to Figment, and I don't need another popcorn bucket, but I do think it's pretty neat. We've seen a lot of people walking around with them, and I guess you can do some kind of mobile order because there's people over here picking them up. Here is our haul. The grape shake or smoothie. Yep. And there's the freeze-dried Skittles. Both Josh and I had one, and they're so interesting. It's almost like eating a piece of cereal. Yeah. Like it's crunchy, not the normal kind of squishy that Skittles are. It still has the same taste, but it's more like a chewing on a piece of popcorn that crunches.
Something like you had that's been, like, it's because it's been freeze-dried, it's got this very dry, crumbly texture.
Yeah, like a piece of cereal. Yeah.
All the flavor. Yeah.
It almost felt like a Fruit Loop, almost.
Yeah, I was thinking something similar to that.
And then Josh also got the cider flight. They have a beer flight too, but Josh got the cider flight because he prefers that. What are those different ciders?
That's the black cherry hard cider.
Black cherry.
The blood orange.
Blood orange.
And then the passion fruit.
And they're all three daughters, which is, I think, is from Florida.
St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
They basically have a red and orange and a yellow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
He's going to try those and see what he thinks.
Get the back of Figment though.
There's the back of Figment, and then you can turn it around, and there's the front of Figment. Nice. And it's got that grape, like I said, to give it the color. Otherwise, it's a plastic cup, kind of in the shape of a beer can.
A soda can in general.
And we've had, or a soda can,
an 8-ounce can.
We've already had some. We mentioned the Skittles before; they're still good. Yeah, but the grape thing is great. At first it tasted like grape bubble yum, or not, or Bubblicious or something. Yeah. The very grapey, fake grapey flavor. Then as I had more of it, there's this kind of like creamy texture in there too, that makes it not as sweet as you might think. So it's really, I like this quite a bit. I was not expecting that to like it as much as I do, because I do like grape flavored stuff, but too much of that fakey grape I don't like.
It gets old fast.
I get enough of it very quickly. This, on the other hand, is really doing it for me. So Josh, what did you think of the ciders?
I enjoy my ciders. I've enjoyed ciders since I lived in London many years ago as a student. And so I don't always get beer ones, but I get cider ones as well. I knew I would enjoy this overall, and overall I liked it. There were a lot of surprises though. I thought the black cherry would end up being one of my favorites. It was actually my least favorite. I still liked it, but
yeah, that's interesting.
But it wasn't my favorite, and I thought it would be my favorite. The passion fruit may have actually been my favorite, which I was not expecting at all. So I was really pleasantly surprised by that.
I wouldn't have expected that either.
Yeah, I did not. The blood orange, I really did like. It was a much more subtle flavor, which blood orange sometimes can be very strong, if not overwhelming. So I found myself enjoying all three of them. Surprisingly enough, passion fruit my favorite, blood orange second, and then the third was the black cherry. But still, I enjoyed it, and I would get two out of the three of these again, easy.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, would you, if you came back and you were just going to get like a glass of something?
Probably the passion fruit, actually.
Passion fruit would be the one?
And then the orange would come in a close second, but the black cherry would be, it would be third. And it's still not bad. It's just not my favorite.
It's third out of the three. Yeah. Well, cool.
Good stuff.
There's a Figment up there. Like if you walk in and turn around to the seating, or if you walk into the seating area and turn around, there's a Figment up there. And what I really like though is that I saw some videos of this yesterday. I was paying attention to it today, but it was like, hey, that's not in the order, you know, red, orange, yellow, that kind of thing. But if you look, the lights actually change to different colors. So it's not always in the order you expect, which I think is neat. And it's subtle. Like if you're not looking at it, you probably won't even notice it.
I did.
And then this little guy here.
I wasn't here when Epcot was new, but Josh had come earlier in his life, and he said that they used to have these.
Just like this.
Yeah, it's just those pin things,
Tables.
but it's whole
Tables.
tables of them. And
It's burned in my memory as one of the few things I truly remember from Epcot in 1982. Like this is one of those things.
yep, it seems really cool, but it also feels like a big germ factory. Earlier we came by here and didn't know what art defying gravity was, and it is kind of a Cirque du Soleil performance. Balancing contortionism. She's contorting over there quite a bit. And something else gonna happen. Very cheerleading move. Strength on both of their behalves. Here's Rob Katz's booth. You can see that there's some art inside. It's very similar to this. Yeah, I love this stitch with the
Disney.
ducklings.
It's so Disney.
I like the DuckTales crew down there. Orange Bird in the Tiki Room. And then Cinderella going towards the castle, and Beauty and the Beast. And I like the Millennium Falcon flying into Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, these are pretty cool.
They're cool.
Passing my Deco Delights, which has some sweets. Right now we're looking for something that's actually savory, because we just had...
Orange mousse sound even good, and
Yeah,
you know me.
we'll probably be back at some point, either today or tomorrow night for the orange mousse. But we're gonna go look for like actual savory food first.
But dang.
We've gotten items from the deconstructed dish before. They had a really good deconstructed Reuben a couple of years ago that was amazing. Josh is standing in line to get the deconstructed French onion soup. And then I'm gonna stand in line over there at Pop Eats to get the, it's a grilled cheese with pimento cheese, a fried green tomato, and some bacon. And you also get some tomato soup with it. But these lines are very long right now. You can see there's the booth over there. The line comes all the way back here. Here's the actual Pop Eats booth information. You have tomato soup with just a regular grilled cheese, tomato soup with pimento, bacon, and fried green tomato grilled cheese. That's one we're getting. And then the frangipani cake, which they have every year. They also have some alcohols. We're not getting that either. After a lengthy wait, we finally got it. Here's the deconstructed French onion soup. It's like a ravioli with the liquid inside it, so it'll like spill all over. And then this is the pimento bacon grilled cheese. And it comes with tomato soup. We're gonna try them both out. All right, what did we think of the food from Pop Eats and the deconstructed dish? Josh, you go first.
I really like the Pop Eats. I like both the soup and the sandwich. They were better together. They worked very well together. Disney keeps showing me that maybe I like pimento cheese more than I think I like. It's like the second time they've done something at one of these
Yeah,
ones.
they had those pork rinds with pimento cheese at some festival last year, and it was great.
We had 2 years in a row. I know they brought it back, and we loved it both times. The French onion soup, it's solid. It's solid. It's interesting. It's a little strange. Not my favorite, but still pretty good. And if you enjoy this sort of deconstructed dish that they do here over the years, then you're probably going to love it.
Yeah, I really liked the French onion, deconstructed French onion, and how it spilled out. It was very thick. You could sop it up with your fork, and the ravioli. I thought that was great. The pimento cheese sandwich was really good. Their tomato soup was okay. Like Josh said, it's better when you dipped it in there, but when I was just eating the soup, I didn't think it was that good. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't that good. Or at least, I should say, it wasn't more special than, say, like Campbell's.
Fair. That's incredibly fair.
but together they worked amazingly. That
Such a
pimento
good
thing was a
sandwich.
risk because we weren't sure, but oh my gosh.
But
it
now
was
we know
good.
we need to buy more pimento
Yeah,
cheese.
I would do that again. Absolutely. Stopping by the French booth to get the cheese bowl, which is that top thing, the creme de brie and petit pain. Creamy brie and a house-made bread bowl. We get this every year. It's so amazing, especially when the cheese is warm and then you can eat the bowl afterwards that the cheese has been soaking in. It's just amazing. They also have some alcoholic beverages, but we're not getting any of those. It was so good that we started tearing into it before I could get some video. Anyway, so this is the size. I remember being bigger last time we got it. Yeah. Yeah. So it had kind of a lid on it. It also had the piece that they had pulled out on the side so you could dip it. So we dipped the lid and we dipped the side piece, and now we're just eating the bowl itself. It's delicious. It's just as delicious as the last time we had it. The brie cheese is amazing, and the bread is really good. It's made in a crusty kind of way so that the brie just sort of soaks into it. It's very, very good. It's kind of expensive for what you get, but it's delicious. This is the Vibrante and Vivito in Canta Cocina. We're getting the empanada here. The soup sounds good too, but I don't feel like having soup right now. And then there's some beverages they have. This is where like the L'Chaim was between France over there. Here's the booth. And Morocco over there. We've had a few bites already. It's normal empanada shape. It's pretty big though. The filling is very good. I think it's great. It was spicy warm, not unbearably so, but more spicy than things you typically get here. I like that though. And it was also very, very hot. Josh burned his mouth on it. So if you have this, be careful because the filling might be very, very, very hot. I liked it. Josh's opinion is tainted by the the burning of the mouth. This is the artist table in the American Pavilion. Looks like they have 3 meatloaf with peas and carrots, duck and dumplings, hummingbird cake. You're gonna get the meatloaf and the hummingbird cake. The hummingbird cake sounds great. If you know me, you know those are the flavors I love. Let's talk about the meatloaf and the hummingbird cake. The hummingbird cake was incredible.
That tops our list, or comes near the top of our list, I think, for the actual festival so far.
I love all of those flavors, right? Coconut and banana and apples, and it was just, it really did it for me.
Good cake,
good
frosting.
Wherever that was, I would go eat it. If it was in a restaurant, I would go eat that.
It was good.
The meatloaf was good. It was a little dry on the outside, but it was moist in the middle.
Once we got in.
And it had peas and carrots, but they were done in an interesting way. The pea was like a puree, but it was actually pretty good. I'm not a huge pea fan, but that actually was good. And
the carrot was a carrot ketchup put on top of the meatloaf, which I really liked actually.
But I also think that thing that was in the peas was like a shaved,
shredded, yes, sorry, you're right,
like carrot, and it might have been pickled because it didn't quite taste like.
It had a good crunch to it.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I couldn't
atypical.
pick out the flavors, but when it said shaved carrot, that's the only thing on there that could apply.
Yes.
We didn't try the sipping chocolates because the lady next to us
maybe next time.
had it.
I'm tempted.
She said they tasted exactly what you would expect, right? Like the dark chocolate one was a little more bitter, and the milk chocolate one was sweeter, and the white chocolate one tasted like someone melted an Alpine White bar into it. So nothing special there.
But solid, if that's your thing.
But
if you
if you like that kind of thing,
I do.
then that's going to be up your alley. But yeah, definitely the hummingbird cake. When
We'll
we come back
yes.
later, we're going to get that again.
Absolutely, very good.
Here is the meatloaf, and that's the hummingbird cake. And this nice lady who's sitting with us also got the sipping chocolates. There's a white and a chocolate and a dark. Here's the Italian booth, and we're gonna get that mozzarella frita, which is just fried mozzarella, which is yummy. And then it comes with a bunch of different condiments. We'll try to figure out what those are. Here is the fried mozzarella with various condiments around the outside. I like how it looks like an artist palette. I don't know what these condiments are, but we're gonna try them all. We both liked it. I don't think it was any special than typical mozzarella, like fried that you get mozzarella sticks or something, but I still like those, so it was fine.
It was fun to experiment with,
so,
try different flavors.
Turns out there's 4 sauces here because they're duplicated. This was some kind of like mayo something. I don't know.
Maybe a mayo ketchup. I really do think it might have been.
I mean, it might have been a mayo ketchup, yeah. This is your typical marinara sauce right there, the red stuff. This was a balsamic vinaigrette. It was very good with that. Strong. And then this is pesto.
Again,
I think I ended up liking kind of the mayo or the traditional marinara, just because, like with pesto, you put it on pasta, because pasta doesn't have a lot of flavor by itself usually. You're going to get flavored ones, but it usually doesn't. So the pesto is kind of your flavor. But when you have something that has flavor like the mozzarella and you stick it in pesto, there's a lot of competing flavors happening there. Which one was your favorite, Josh?
It might have been similar, actually. I did enjoy the pesto, but I get these things. I like pesto a lot. Marinara, it's very traditional. This is okay. I'm never a huge fan of
He's not a
that sort of
mayonnaise
stuff.
fan.
It's not that I'm not a mayonnaise fan. That's not true. I don't eat a lot of it. I do enjoy it. But I actually found the balsamic vinegar to be too strong. That's
again, that was another one. Very so much like I love balsamic vinaigrette, but
overwhelmingly,
it's very strong. You can only put a little bit, otherwise it would completely overwhelm. But yeah, this was pretty good.
But fun to try.
A little bit more expensive, like at $8.25 than I would expect for just one mozzarella.
I mean, it's a good size.
But,
It's a good size, but
still. Anyway, so I'm not saying not get it, but manage your expectations.
Yes.
Going into the Germany booth, and we're getting that red wine braised beef short rib. I cannot wait for that. We get this every year, and I love it every time.
Here's our haul, the beef short rib there on the right with the broccolini and the parsnip puree. I would never have known in my life that I was a parsnip person, but I love that stuff. And then on the left is the Black Forest quote-unquote cake. It's more like a chocolate mousse with some chantilly on it, and then you've got maraschino cherries around it. We're gonna try these and see what we think.
There you go.
I wanted to show you the inside of the cake. So there is actually cake in there. It's not just mousse, but there is sort of a mousse in the middle. But it also has the chantilly cream on top that you can see there. And it has cherries inside too. So at first it looked like the cherries were just all around.
Nope. Cherry.
But there is a mousse in the middle that has cherries in it, surrounded by cake.
Yep.
And then the chantilly on the top. I liked it. It was a little sweet for me. So Josh is finishing that off. I normally like sweet things. I just wasn't feeling like that. The steak with the parsnip puree. And
Oh my goodness, that parsnip.
Yeah, that whole thing was amazing. Every time we have it, it's amazing. It just you put your fork in there, it just falls apart. It's so tender.
It's amazing.
It's delicious. There's balsamic on it that it really adds to the flavor. We'll get that again when we come back. We're not going to repeat a lot, but that's one thing we're going to get again.
Not that you can see this too well right now, but there it goes. The ball just started lighting up. Just a second ago, I was taking the video of the dessert. It wasn't on. It is just about 6 o'clock right now, so it just started going. Wow. And at night is beautiful. This is one of our favorite things that they did for the 50th. It is just incredible to watch. From far away. When you're up close, it's just a bunch of lights blinking. But far away, it is just incredible. I think that was one of the best things they've done. And I hope they keep it forever because it's that wonderful. Speaking of keeping things or not keeping things, the nighttime show that they put out, Harmonious, is going to be ending in the next few months, and these pieces that are part of the show out here in the World Showcase are going to be going away. I thought the show was very good, and I think it got a lot of good feedback, but I think that a lot of people complained about having stuff in the middle of the lagoon here, so you couldn't see across. Essentially, it just became an eyesore for people who just wanted to be able to look across the lake at the other countries. I don't know if that's true. Disney will probably never say, but that seems to be the general consensus, is that enough people complained about it. So they're going to put back the Epcot Forever for a little while, and then maybe eventually replace it with a new show. So anyway, we were going to stay tonight to see the show, but it's just really cold, and we don't want to be standing out in the cold near the water. When we come back next time, we'll probably see it one last time before it goes.
We were just mentioning that we hadn't come across anything like this, but we spoke too soon. This is sort of spin art that you can make on your own. So you just kind of get on that bike, or somebody does, and it turns, and then you get to choose the colors that you put in there, and it makes the art. So you can see.
Like if you spin it slow, then it doesn't mix as much. So like you.
And so you get to make your own art, and you can then take away with you. It's kind of a cool process, and it's something you make yourself, which is pretty awesome.
That is I don't know how you did it.
They added a light and stopped it spinning so you can kind of see better what she did. We never made it back here to do the actual painting ourselves, but here's what it ended up looking like once it was all done.
And I love the idea that lots of people are involved. It's sort of crowdsourced art. Sure, it's paint by numbers, but it doesn't matter. It's still gorgeous. Except somebody,
Yep.
like a jerk,
Did the wrong color eye.
did the wrong color eye.
People,
And like people over here didn't do it correctly, so that's the problem is some
You're
people aren't going to do it
trusting
right and some people aren't going to do it right on purpose. But otherwise, I think it's pretty cool looking.
that's
That is going to do it for us from the International Festival of the Arts 2023. We checked out some of the art, and we bought a few postcards of art. It's a 4-pack that we plan to put up together. And we tried some of the food, some new items, some returning items. Mostly everything was good. There was definitely nothing that I disliked, but some things I liked better than others. Of course, we didn't go to every single booth, so if you're curious what else there is here, then feel free to look up their website. You can see all the different booths they have. Not everything has something that we want, so we only go for the things we want, obviously. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you in the next video.